Uncle Warren, can you tell us another story?
Welcome to our adventure. Get ready to dive into a world where every second counts and every decision matters. Buckle up, as we're about to embark on a thrilling journey. Live for you, kill for you. The stakes are high and the challenges are relentless. Stay tuned as we uncover the twists and turns of this intense saga. Chapter 1. Lane splits and chicken strips. The passing rush of crisp, clean night air muffled the rumble and hum of the engine. Inside the confines of his matte black lid, Jason felt the magnitude of his speed through vibration more than he could hear it. An obstacle course of double tail lights crowded the roadway in front of him as he maneuvered forward. He leaned hard to his left and then to his right, riding the absolute edge of his tires, wearing his chicken strips down to width of a dime. "Hey, are you guys there?" The response was an electronic beep, followed by a robotic female voice. "Intercom failed. Try again later." He bent forward and used his upper body weight to twist his knuckles further back toward his forearm, increasing in speed. "Keith, Cherie, can you guys hear me?" Keith's raspy voice thundered across Jason's Bluetooth headset. "Yeah, we hear you, Jay. You need to keep up. We're about 3 minutes out." Jason scanned ahead and saw the single taillights of Keith and Cherie weaving their way through the four-wheeled metal cages almost a quarter mile in front of him. Jason firmly squeezed his left hand to clutch and then shifted up one gear. He ducked his head and laid forward to minimize his body profile as the side wind from the sudden burst in speed held the two-wheeled machine perfectly balanced. He felt completely weightless. After closing the distance between them, Jason joined Cherie and Keith in a side-by-side formation, occupying the three inside lanes of Highway 120 East. Jason rode in the far-left HOV lane, Keith in the middle, and Cherie to the right. "All right, I'm up. So what's the play?" Keith nodded toward the dark grey sedan in the lane in front of him. "Cherie, ease up and take a look." Cherie eased the throttle and increased her pace forward to the right side of the sedan. She scouted the interior through the side windows, then returned to the formation. "He's alone, and the prize is in the front passenger seat," she reported. Keith glanced toward Jason. "Sounds like the old classic smash and grab. You take the left, I'll take front to slow him down, and Cherie, you take the prize." They continued to follow for another quarter mile, anticipating the blind spot between the DOT traffic cams. "Okay, go." Keith twisted his throttle, then weaved around and positioned himself in front of the sedan. Once Keith was in position, Jason reached under his jacket and pulled out a .45. Cherie reached under her jacket and pulled out a mechanic's wrench, and then they both slowly eased forward and rode along both sides of the sedan. Keith gently began to release the tension of his throttle to reduce their speed. 55 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour, 45 miles per hour. Then finally, at 40 miles per hour, Keith stomped his right foot and squeezed his right hand to hard brake. The driver of the sedan frantically used both feet and engaged his brakes, creating a cloud of white smoke as his tires skidded to a halt. The driver, along with all the other vehicles behind them, blared their car horns in fury. "What the?" yelled the driver. As the sedan came to a complete stop, Cherie shattered the front passenger window with the wrench and grabbed a black attaché case from the front passenger seat. The driver panicked and raised his left hand to guard himself from the flying shards of glass, and with his right hand he reached out toward the passenger seat. He appeared to reach for the case, but instead he grabbed his phone and began to snap pictures of Cherie. Cherie was partially blinded from the repeated flash of the phone. The first flash caught her gazing down at the case as she secured it in her lap. The second flash caught her full facial portrait as she turned her head toward the driver. The final flash was accompanied by a deafening gunshot and a spray of blood spatter that landed across the shield of Cherie's helmet. The blaring sound of car horns immediately ceased. The onlookers from the traffic behind them attempted to turn their metal cages and escape the scene, only succeeding in further blocking all the eastbound lanes. "Jay, what the hell?" Jason ignored Keith's voice yelling at him across his headset, and he leaned inside the sedan to retrieve the phone from the driver's bloody and motionless right hand. Cherie sat in momentary disbelief, then revved her engine and rocketed down the highway at top speed. Jason placed the phone in his jacket along with the .45, then revved his engine and took off with Keith close behind him in pursuit. The night air was filled with the slow rise of dissipating white smoke and the smell of burnt rubber. All that remained was the mundane sounds of the passing westbound traffic, a dead man in a dark grey sedan, and the scream of 3 speed bikes fading into the distance.